Number one overall. And Rick, I'll just bounce these names off of you, and they may go fast or they may go a little slower. But Cardinals had the first overall pick. This is reverse Super Bowl odds, in case you're wondering how he came with the order. Caleb Williams.
No brainer.
So again, I'll revisit this question for you. What if he's teetering publicly with returning to school?
Like we talked about earlier on the show, I'm going to make sure I go out there. If I'm the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, the head coach goes out there. The ownership probably needs to go out there. You need to sit down not only with the kid, but probably his father, probably his representatives, if he is deciding to come out, and then talk through what your vision is with him and your organization going forward and in the future. So, and the other thing that we talked about was, I'm sure he's making a lot of money in the NILs and the Wendy's commercials and everything else you've seen. I mean, we saw Bryce Young make a lot of monies off the Dr. Pepper commercials, but there's still, you'll never make up that type of money of the number one overall pick. And the other question is, what if it's a worse situation or a worse team that he doesn't want to go to the following year?
Yeah, that's right. So Debo just put the odds here on YouTube. Minus 330 for Caleb Williams to be the number one overall pick versus the field, which is plus 220. So, Josh, I'll ask you, because some of the other
because in this scenario, Josh, because I don't understand betting, if I bet $1 on Caleb Williams being the number one overall pick, I would lose $330. So why would I make that bet?
You just said it's a no-brainer.
I think you actually lose 33,000 is the way that those odds work.
No, those are the pluses. But when it's minus, I'd have to pay if he's the number one overall pick. I don't understand it.
And by the way, in case you weren't aware, you did stumble into the best gambling podcast on the internet. Thank you, Rick. So, Josh, I'll ask you, because some of the quarterbacks we'll talk about in a moment here, some of them haven't been lights out through the first part of the season. That is not the case with Caleb Williams. Are there any concerns? We know he's going first overall. Any concerns with this game at this point from what you've seen?
No, not really. I mean, I'm not going to say he's a flawless player, because you can never totally project how somebody's going to translate to the next level, but he's as close to a translatable quarterback as I've seen because of his decision-making. Everybody wants to say he's Patrick Mahomes, and I see the comparisons, but what really excites me is the decision-making. If he gets caught in space, he's able to make a throw like we saw last week against Stanford. He's able to make a throw on the run. If somebody is trying to jump high, he's able to go low or go around them. If they go low, he's able to go above them. I mean, he's capable of throwing from all of these different arm angles, and you're seeing his confidence not only in the pocket, but in space. So it doesn't take time for him to make that split-second decision, because at any point in time, the play is still alive and he could make a play downfield, much like Patrick Mahomes, which is where those comparisons come from. So for me, he is as close to a flawless quarterback as I've seen in a handful of years.
Well, I'm glad you said it that way, because Debo has a question for you, Rick, and I'll ask Josh after you answer. Caleb Williams is the best prospect since who?
Oh, so this is one of those comparison ones, huh?
That's what Debo wants, and Debo gets what Debo wants.
Okay, so again, I take everything literally. And if you're trying to say that he's Patrick Mahomes, well, him and Patrick Mahomes coming out of college, if you look at Patrick Mahomes coming out of Texas Tech, it's not even comparable. So you can't make that Patrick Mahomes comparison. If you're looking at it literally, saying, who does he remind you of when that person came out of college? So I have one in my back pocket that popped into my head.
Oh boy. Buckle up.
I am going to say he reminds me of Andrew Luck when he came out of Stanford.
I don't hate it.
No, you don't hate any of mine, because yours is. I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
See, Rick, when you ever heard the saying, you can attract more flies with honey than with the vinegar? I tried the honey approach, and all you do is throw more vinegar at me. So, way to go, Debo. So if you're looking on YouTube here, Debo just put up the past 5 draft classes. These are Rick Spielman's quarterback rankings. Number 1, Trevor Lawrence, Burrow, Herbert, Bryce Young, CJ, Tua, Justin Fields, Anthony Richardson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. And I think what Debo's
out of college.
Coming out of college, right? That's right. Coming out of college through the draft process before they came to the NFL, and in many respects made $55+ million a year. So, Rick, Where are you penciling Caleb Williams on this list?
Up one. Number
Wait,
one.
what? Above Trevor?
Yes.
Whoa. Great call, Debo. All right. What about you, Josh? You have Rick sees you, Andrew Luck, and what are you going to counter with?
Well, I can't counter because ironically, I was going to say Andrew Luck.
Everybody does. That's why I need to go last on this podcast.
I swear to you, I was going to say that because you can see the quiet confidence that he has in the pocket. He understands what he's seeing, and he's capable of making a play at any given point in time. I think Trevor Lawrence, you saw him stick on some routes at certain points. Joe Burrow, he doesn't quite have the swagger of Joe Burrow, and he's got a little bit more athleticism. So, I mean, Andrew Luck for me, I think is a really good comparison.
Andrew Luck was a really good athlete too. For some reason, we forget that thinking about, I mean, it's part of the reason he probably got hurt running for his life, and the offensive line wasn't always that good at Indianapolis. But Debo, there's your headline. Forget Patrick Mahomes, Rick Spielman, and Josh Edwards say Andrew Luck is the next, or Caleb Williams is the next Andrew Luck. That won't make people angry.
Are you participating? Because I want to buckle up and hear this one. Did you even do the homework?
I can do it on the fly.
Okay, who?
Let's see. Who can I say that will make Rick the angriest? Patrick Mahomes reminds me of.
No, we're talking about Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, sorry.
Oh my God, gosh, what I have to work with twice a week. It's exhausting.
I was going to go with Baker Mayfield. How's that feel?
Yeah, that's perfect.
I didn't do the homework. Andrew Luck works for me. Patrick Mahomes, I mean.
Hey, Debo, you can put that up in your little poll thing you do with the fans. Caleb Williams remind you more of Rick Wright on Andrew Luck, or was Ryan Wright on Baker Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield. But
no, there's your headline, Debo. Ryan compares Caleb Williams to Baker Mayfield.
Oh, trust me.
Yeah, please put that up.
You think the YouTube viewers that come back and watch it later don't watch the whole show? They'll get to that part where it said Baker Mayfield, and that's what I'll get crushed for. But here's the thing. Andrew Luck was drafted in 2012.
I had to dig deep in my homework assignment.
Yeah, but you're telling me there hasn't been a quarterback prospect since 2012 that's better than, like, I think, because, I mean, coming out, Patrick Mahomes, you're right, wasn't as good as Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was probably the most polished quarterback coming out. Joe Burrow was more polished, or no?
Andrew Luck was more athletic. Joe Burrow was polished, but Andrew Luck was more athletic. So
okay.
I'm trying to make that comparison. And that's why if you put that list up, the Debo put list up, he would be number one over Trevor Lawrence.
That's impressive. I like that he's number one. All right.